up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with another one. Piggybacking off of the last video, at the racetrack. I was reviewing some footage, some of my helmet cam footage, and I don't have a data logger for like making passes and stuff. I can't get on my computer and see what the gauges were telling me and all that stuff. But what I do have is a GoPro on my helmet. And after looking at the GoPro, what I noticed was my AFR gauge at idle, some people called me out on it. They're like, oh, that's lean. It's not lean at idle. I'm not trying to flood stuff. It's fine at idle. But it stayed the same at wide open throttle. Granted, more air, more fuel. So it was staying the same. You know, it was staying 12.9 at idle. You're getting a little bit of air, you're getting a little bit of fuel. Wide open throttle, you're getting a lot more air, you're getting a lot more fuel, and it stayed the same. But I do think that this new carburetor does not have jet extensions in the rear. That would make sense because when the truck is stationary, everything looks really good. You know, all the numbers are adding up, they're good. You know, you rev it up, it richens up, all that. Going on the track, different story. So I'm starting at jet extensions in the rear of this carburetor. I have my old carburetor over, I think it's that. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get the jet extensions out of that as long as this doesn't have them in it. This might have jet extensions, I don't know. If it does, cool. Then I know, you know, it's another thing. It's not even really an issue. The truck runs good, but I just know that fat is happy. Lean is fast, fat is happy. Erring on the side of caution. See if we can richen up just a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna tear this back bowl off and see if this thing has jet extensions. If it does, cool. I'll look somewhere else. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna throw these jet extensions in it, and hopefully that fixes the problem. I don't know, we'll see. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this, pull these jet extensions out of this old carburetor that I got. This was a Brawler 850 from the Jegs. It did good. It lasted a couple years. And honestly, the only reason I got rid of it is because I switched to E85, and this is a gas carburetor. But it did good. It did me really good for a few years. This truck ran on 110 or 112 or whatever I really felt like putting it in, or whatever I could afford for that weekend. Go ahead and pull these bowls off. I just have it in this drain pan just in case, because I can see it leaking a lot. So I'll get this. There we go. What is it called? Oh my. For those of you that don't know, there's your float. Right here's your accelerator pump, gasket, bolt. And take this off, what you see on the other side of it, which I don't realize which end I had where. It's okay, this thing might leak when I put it together anyway. Whatever happens. Anyway, once you take that off, what you see here is your metering block. Right there's your jet extensions. The little things on the end, those are jets. These just extend them out. That's why they're called jet extensions. The purpose of those is for when you launch, you know, whether it be your car or in my case your truck or whatever, launch your carburetor this way, all your fuel sloshes to the back, makes it so your jets can't reach it. So you put on these jet extensions, puts it back in the fuel, that way it's actually, you know, getting the fuel that it needs to supply to the squirters. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these off, and I'll throw these jets back in this how they were without the extensions. That way, if I want to throw this on the truck for a second to run it on 110, you know, if it's going to sit for a little bit, you run it on 110 and then park it. That way, it doesn't have the alcohol and stuff being all corrosive. You can throw this on it. But we'll get these jet extensions off and see what we can throw in that carburetor. I think this one will be big enough. It's got a bigger blade on it. Feels funny using a giant screwdriver on such small things. There it is. There's your jet extension. Just that small little piece. Makes a difference. The reason they are in this truck is because I noticed one day I was like, hey, this thing's spitting and sputtering after I launch. They're like, oh, put jet extensions in it. And I did, and it cleared right up. So somebody knows what they're talking about. And number 2. It's like that. I ordered those jet extensions off Holly for like $12. They are not expensive. So, when you're throwing this back together, make sure your little arm, see, I already messed up. Make sure your arm for your accelerator pump is in the right spot. Make sure it's all connected. Just a little thing that could be a problem. Also, you should be able to just run these in with your finger or your thumb. You shouldn't even really have to tighten them. Just like that. Well, you tighten them, but after you get them threaded in completely. Yeah. Tighten these things up and pull the other one apart. Alrighty. Moving on to the next one. Got the ATM E85 carburetor over here on the bench. Gonna go ahead and get this opened up. Watching the War in the Woods live stream. They just had somebody put it in the wall, so they're cleaning up a little bit. Don't rip, don't rip. There we go. Oh, ripping the 85 everywhere. Oh, it does have jet extensions in it. Ooh. Okay, so that's not where my problem is. That was a very quick answer. But I have spare jet extensions. Okay. So, might be an air bleed. Might fix the problem. I know there's a couple different things. I know enough to be dangerous about carburetors. So, I don't know. I do have people that are smarter with them than I. Also, I do know this much. Like, air bleeds and jet extensions and all this other stuff. So, if I can save my friends the trouble of listening to me, then I will. Okay, well I can put this back on, because now I know that the issue isn't the fact that this doesn't have jet extensions. So, props to ATM for putting jet extensions on their stuff from their factory. It's pretty cool. And back on we go. I don't think I see any leaks. I think we're all good. All right, so obviously the jet extensions weren't the issue. But with that being said, where my head is at is kind of, there's two possibilities. One possibility is, yeah, at the top of the RPM, it does lean out to about 12.5. Like I said, it really isn't that lean. It's getting equal
air and fuel as it is when it's idling, so should be safe in theory. And fast. Lean is fast, fat is happy. Or the other option, taller tires in the rear. Right now I'm running a 28 10.5 or a 275 60 15 and 411 gears. So what I might try is throw a 29.5 on the back, get me a little bit more RPM, because maybe it's not an issue with the carburetor at all, the popping and the banging. If I can just get it out of that RPM range, bring it down a little bit by putting a taller tire on it. So I'm gonna try and put a taller tire on it and go from there, make a couple passes, see what happens with that, see if it fixes it. And then I'll know, okay, I need to buy some 29 10.5 tires that are good. I'm gonna buy a used set just to make a couple practice hits on. But nonetheless, torn to the carburetor a little bit. That's one thing I've wanted to know more about for a long time. Like I said, I know enough to be dangerous. I know a little bit on them, but man, there's a lot to learn on those things. So hopefully here soon I can really dive into a carburetor now that I have one sitting over there on the shelf. Dive into it, understand the parts, and figure out how all the inner workings are. But yeah, that's cool at least that ATM puts jet extensions in their stuff already. I mean, they understand that it's going to be geared towards probably a racing application, at least with that one. I don't know if they do in all of theirs, but they did it in mine, so pretty cool. Anyways, we'll move on. I got some racing to watch. We're watching, like I said, War in the Woods, and it's always a cool race. Yeah, so I might try those tires next before I tear into anything else. See what happens. All right, random little clip here. I'm currently at the car wash. I was running my truck, and I noticed that my voltage seemed a little low. At idle, it was only at like 12.1, and that's no bueno. So I ran to AutoZone. Mark's was closed, so I went to the other option, which was AutoZone or Advanced, whatever, they're the same. Ran there, they tested it. It also said like 12.2 for them. So got a new alternator, had them test the new one, because the one that I had was only like a year old, and I think it was low when I got it. Anyway, had them test this one. This one tested good, so we'll get it thrown on, and it's just... The car wash is talking to me. Anyway, get this one thrown on the truck. Shouldn't be too bad. Just another little thing. Maintenance. Really all it is, but at least they had one in stock, and wasn't that too expensive either, so we're all good. We'll get it thrown in. But the car wash was right beside AutoZone. Might as well get the truck washed. So, little backstory. Because the balancer that I have on this motor is a big block Chevy bolt pattern on this Ford. Tell me why that makes sense. But because of that, I have to have a bunch of random spacers to make this stuff line up. Kind of a pain, especially when you're trying to just line stuff up. But it's the only way I can get this to fit in here. Of course, everything's still warm because I just ran the truck. It's just all bad. But what I'm getting at is I have to kind of do a little makeshift action to get this to work, which is kind of annoying, but it's ultimately not a big deal. It's just the bolt pattern on this balancer is the 3-bolt big block Chevy pattern, and I don't know. That's just what ATI did, and it's a really good balancer. So it's one of those things you just gotta deal with. Not a huge deal. There we go. Got it. Ouch. Hot. Get my wiring back. And he's on. Simple job, just annoying. Yeah. Should be good to go. Alrighty, I got the alternator all finished up. It was super easy. I mean, it's 3 wires. With that being said, hindsight, I could have gotten a 1-wire alternator, but I'm like sitting here and I'm like, that sounds like a pain. I'm gonna have to switch wiring out. I'm gonna have to mess with all sorts of stuff. And I'll tell you what, did a little digging on YouTube and I found this channel called Barn Built Fabrication. Younger guy, probably my age, maybe a little older, I don't know. He has a 79 F-150 and he has a video on removing the 3-wire system and putting on a 1-wire system. And he makes it look super simple. So shout out to that guy. Definitely gonna be referencing that video whenever this alternator goes out. It's inevitable, it will. I'm gonna put a 1-wire on it because he made it look super easy. And I wish I would have found it an hour ago before I put this one on. But yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd kind of shout him out a little bit because he did have a very informational video that I will definitely be referencing. So yeah, shout out to Barn Built Fabrication. Definitely a good video. Solid work, dude. But yeah, here we are. Alternator's on. We tested it at the store and it tested real good. So it should be fun. Keyword should. Hi guys, welcome back to another day. Today, I got some new work boots. I got these off Billy. He put on Facebook about a month ago actually, saying he had some tires for sale. And I was like, you know what? I want to try something. And what I'm trying is, currently I have 28-10-5 radials, or 275-60-15 radials. And it's not the hooking that's the issue, but it's the tire size. So what I'm gonna try is, with those basically being 28 inches tall, these are 29.5 inches tall. They still have plenty of life in them. And yeah, I mean, it all changes gear ratio, right? So when they say a gear ratio, like in your rear end, I believe it's based off of a 26-inch tall tire, like not a very big tire. So it changes even with 28. And I'm just trying to get a little bit more into that, trying to get into a better spot at the top of the quarter mile. 1/8 mile, these 28s are great. You know, shift points are where they need to be, all that. 28s work great, 1/8 mile. Quarter mile, those 29s should help. I don't know, we're gonna see. Like I said, it's all kind of a trial and error deal. With that being said, I gotta pull these wheels off. I gotta run over and use my cousin's tire machine, swap these out really quick. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it should work. If it doesn't, it's in the, spirit of trying things new, right? So, I don't know. Might work, might not. All right, guys, we're back here on another day. Where you saw last, I got this new slick put on, and I gotta say, it looks sweet, but unfortunately, looks don't really matter. Yeah, I mean, I like it, and it fits on the inside of the wheel well, but if you come right here and look at the inside, it's gonna rub, especially like up here, not so much over on these ends, but over here. So I need to look at rolling this fender or cutting it. I don't know if it's this bed particularly, but this is an LMC bed, and it's got a huge lip right here. So I don't know if that was the way Ford had it or just LMC. But either way, I'm gonna pull this tire off, put the other one back on, see about modifying this fender before I put both of these slicks on and actually run it. Just because with driving this thing on the street, I would hate to tear up the sidewall on this slick while I'm up the road. Granted, I don't go too far with this, but still, that would suck. I don't feel like messing with it. So I'm gonna put the other tire on, and yeah, I'll look at options at fixing this fender up, and that'll be in a later video. But yeah, I figured I'd show you guys at least what it looks like, and the fitment is honestly really close. So we'll go get that switched off, but that's probably gonna wrap this video up because you guys don't need to see me change a tire again. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a random video. Had a few things I wanted to try and nothing really worked. But that's the process of working on cars, is trial and error, and happens. But I appreciate you guys watching. I'm having fun doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos too. Anyways, y'all have a good one. Be safe, and I'll see you on the next one.